Air quality, clear.
Here I can see perfectly well. Sunrise right now.
But it won't be here long.
So get there where you can. All right. One that. Sorry, you doing all right with this? Okay. Should I like wait to start it for a sec or? Geez,
It's okay. You can just.
that's cool. You got these things. Got it.
To talk about today. I'm your host, Jake Goetz. Leslie Gallagher is being subbed in for by Ian Love. What's up, Ian? In the studio, we also have Cassidy Fiera and Alex Braun. What's up, y'all? Gosh, so many things are up. It's so hard to keep track of all the it's impossible. Gosh, and we also have our newscaster, Jake Goetz. Wow, gosh. Oh man, yeah, I hope this counts for my ADJ test. Okay. Yes, so for your news. Today, Ukraine's biggest nuclear plant, which is surrounded by Russian troops, has lost all external power needed for vital safety systems for the second time in 5 days. The head of the UN nuclear watchdog called it a deeply worrying development. For national news, President Joe Biden said that there will be consequences for Saudi Arabia as the Riyadh-led OPEC alliance moves to cut oil production, and Democratic lawmakers call for a freeze on cooperation with the Saudis. Biden suggested he would soon take action as aides announced that that the administration is reevaluating its relationship with the kingdom in light of the oil production cut. For New Jersey news, immigrants and renters of color in Passaic, Elizabeth, and Perth Amboy continue to struggle to afford rapidly raising rents and live in unsafe environments, but largely did not apply for rental assistance. Weather right now, it's chilly, 47 degrees and sunny because sun is rising right now. Wow, look, I can see it. If you're on Zoom, you can also see it kind of. Oh, yeah, technically we still have two. All right. So you still have time to catch the sunrise if you're a sunrise watcher, enjoyer.
If you want to open it.
We have a sunny day planned ahead with a high of 70 and a low of 47. Extended weather. Oh, wait, that's not. No. Bro. All right. Gosh, that's a lot of news. That was your newscast. That's all the news you're going to get, except for the news we're going to give you in a sec. But for sports.
Yes, big sports news today because last night, the MLB Playoffs has started. First, the National League, the Phillies beat the Atlanta Braves 7-6. The New York Yankees came out with a stellar win against the Cleveland Guardians 4-1. And I'm just really happy today because the NHL also started. Hockey, I love hockey. Last night, the hockey officially started with the New York Rangers started off with a rematch from last year's Eastern Conference Final against the Tampa Bay Lightning, which the Rangers won 3-1. And let's hope the Rangers could keep it up when they verse the Minnesota Wild tomorrow at 8. And the New Jersey Devils will play the Philadelphia Flyers at 7 p.m. tomorrow. And in Montclair State sports news, the Montclair State's men's soccer team won 3-0 against Rowan last night in the NJAC. And they will play the Rutgers Newark NJAC matchup today at 7:30 p.m. And the Montclair State women's soccer team suffered their first setback this season, falling 1-0 against Rowan. And the Red Hawks will host the Rutgers Newark, New Jersey at the NJAC tonight at 7 p.m. at MSU Park. So stay tuned. And this has been Sports.
That's so hype. I love it. I love it when Montclair State teams win, or when they don't. I just love it when they do their thing and they have fun, because that's all that matters.
If you enjoy it, you do keep doing it.
Yeah, until you graduate.
Yeah.
Or go pro. In which case, that's definitely keep doing it because it's funny. But gosh, with that, we're gonna get into some news. This first story is what to know about the application for Biden's student loan relief. The application for President Biden's student loan debt relief plan is just around the corner. It's hard to imagine a more anticipated form that won tens of millions of federal student loan borrowers will need to complete to qualify for it. According to NPR yesterday, senior administration officials revealed new details about the application. Here's what we know. Biden administration has said repeatedly its debt relief application would be available in early October. In a call with reporters, senior administration officials dropped the early but promised quote, "We will make the form available in October," and said that they are, quote, "working hard to make sure the form can handle the traffic we anticipate." In a legal filing on Friday, the department said it will not discharge any student loan debt under the debt relief plan prior to October 23rd, 2022. The application will be available through December 31st, 2023. Officials said the application will be housed at a government.gov website and published in both English and Spanish. Gosh. I love the emphasis on October. We're like, we'll do it in October.
Yeah.
We'll do it in October. Okay.
We'll
It's
get around
October.
to it.
October 23rd.
I remember like when the news first came out and it was like, look out, like early October, it's gonna come.
Yeah.
And now, because I was like, oh, I have to look into that. I saw the story. I'm like, oh, I didn't even have to worry about it till like right now. Like,
I
later.
mean, I know I struggle with deadlines, and it makes me kind of happy to know that the president does too.
yeah.
The president is relatable.
Right?
Oh.
He's so short, he's relatable. Not being able to get pretty essential needs out of debt relief. Gosh, yeah. So that's pretty wild. I also I'm sorry, this is kind of off topic, but it kind of drove me into an existential crisis that it's gonna be 2023 soon.
Yeah.
That's like weird, right?
Less than 100 days.
Less than 100
Wow.
days left.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm nostalgic for 2022.
But I guess,
But
like it's just the idea that time keeps moving.
yeah, no, I really that's still a tough
Yeah.
one for me, even at the ripe old age of 20.
Feels like a filler.
I'm
year.
21.
That's a
Jeez.
breaker.
Yeah.
I see that. Yeah, I feel that.
Mhm.
2019 was 4 years ago then.
Wow.
That's
I
disgusting.
don't like that.
Because of the pandemic and everything, I feel like these last 2 years I've just not like
Like I've been in blur.
counted.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
just like 2020, just the first half I think only counted, and then just kind of took away like a year and a half of all of our lives, and now we're just like one day in 2020 we all went to bed, and now it's 2023,
Yeah.
and it's just scary.
Yeah.
Time is moving, and I don't like it.
No.
Do be like that.
No, and I wonder how much the student debt situation has just like increased or
Yeah.
like I guess evolved over the course of all that time and this weird limbo stage that the pandemic created.
Mhm.
Yeah, with inflation and everything.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, like I don't know. I am glad that like something like this is going to be available.
Yeah.
Even I don't know. We'll see how effective it is.
Mhm.
I'm glad to hear that like they're anticipating heavy traffic to the site because I know that's such an issue. I don't know a lot about computer science, but It's bad.
For some reason, I
The
still
more-
think that there's gonna be a lot of traffic, no matter how much.
Oh,
they
yeah.
anticipate. Like
It's just
there's
like-
nothing could amount to like the amount of people who are gonna like look into this and need it.
Basically, the best way to look at it is like if everybody's trying to access the website or server, it's
Mhm.
sending like millions of requests to basically say, hey, let us access this server.
Yes.
So it's like a million people asking you a question, like asking you the same question, but the answer is
A
different. for
million
each
people
person.
trying to look at your paper.
It's like if you can't send it to all of them at once, and you have to just go, okay, who is here first?
It's like a million people texting you, hey bro, what's the homework? It's just that, except over and over and over again.
It's my computer science major doing me well there.
Are you a computer science major?
I am.
That's cool.
All right, yes. I'm
can't-
so
I can't do that.
note that for the rest of the show, that if there's a computer thing that comes up, I'm going straight to you.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
more on the software side, so if it's a hardware question, it'll probably go right over my head.
Well, how about for hardware, you go to our next story?
I would love to. So, in the other news, Bergen County Hospital offers free mammograms in an effort to get more women screened. A Bergen County hospital is offering free mammograms in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Bergen Newbridge Medical Center is encouraging those who live in undeserved communities or those who are uninsured to come into the hospital and get screened. Along with Newbridge, RWJ Barnabas Health and Rutgers Cancer Institute of New Jersey are hosting free breast cancer screenings and education programs across the state. The aim is to educate women about the importance of early detection and breast health and offer free and accessible mammograms for those who qualify. Early detection, regular screenings, and breast health education can save lives, but the CDC reports that nearly 30% of women miss their annual mammogram.
That's so cool.
Gosh, I love
awesome.
accessible
Mhm.
healthcare
Mm.
that's preventative.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I don't know, there's not enough focus on preventative care, you know? It's all about like, oh, if there's a problem, come in. But if there's a problem, it might already be.
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
all
bad.
about solving current issues and not trying to stop any issues from arising.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think that's like, I don't know. Stuff like this, it gives me hope, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is well, all cancer. Well, I think mammograms are really good, and I like this very much. I don't know why I'm sounding like I'm disagreeing. This is a very good thing.
You know what?
Well, actually, I
I think it's good too.
I think all healthcare should be unaffordable. Ugh.
Yeah, right.
But I think it's a really good thing. To detect cancer is very early is great, and I don't know what else mammograms are like for other than to detect
Yeah, I
cancer.
think that's their primary thing.
Yeah.
So, yay, good job, Bergen
And
County
hopefully,
Hospital.
like this will encourage more women, like more people, to like go get screened because it's important. Like early detection, like as I said, is important because like when you think you're young and stuff, but like sometimes problems can arise, and like
Yeah.
maybe this will just encourage more people to like get like a screening that's affordable. So,
Yeah. And I think affordability is such
Mhm.
a big thing there, because I really do think like a lot of people, even people with like health insurance, like avoid going to the doctor because they're worried about the costs, and they'll especially avoid screenings and biopsies and things like this that are more like about preventing things, because it just kind of can appear as just almost as a sort of luxury, right? Like as like, I don't need this to get done right now, technically, or at least I don't think I do.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to avoid it because it's money, and you know,
It's crazy that the thought that you have to pay to even just like know if you're gonna have
Right.
issues.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
not even to have them help,
Mhm.
just to say, hey, you're gonna have issues later on, or you like just to get a test for cancer
Mhm.
costs money. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
literally you have to pay to troubleshoot. It's yeah, like, I don't know. I really think that like some like, I don't know, again, views of my views are not the station's views, but I feel like some wide scale reform is pretty necessary in healthcare, because I feel like it's super cool that Bergen County Hospital is doing this, and like huge respect to them for that. But this is definitely until some reform happens, like this is going to be the exception and not the rule.
Yeah.
And I think that's unfortunate.
Mhm.
But with that, I'm going to move into our next story. NATO chief urges more weapons for Ukraine as Zelensky seeks air defense systems. President Volodymyr Zelensky asked the leaders of the group of 7 nations for more modern and effective air defense systems. This happened yesterday, a day after Russia launched an intense aerial assault against civilian targets in his country. Mr. Zelensky addressed the leaders of the group of 7 nations who led an emergency meeting a day after Russian missile strikes. The leaders pledged their undeterred and steadfast financial and military support. The United States signals urgency to deploy an air defense system to Ukraine that it uses to protect the White House.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, okay, word. Like, nice. They
Okay.
they said okay. No, that is genuinely a really good thing. Those attacks on Kiev and I think the surrounding area were just absolutely horrifying, and it's good that like there's going to have a more robust defense system.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
The area that actually it's the Rivov area.
Mhm. Oh,
And
it's Tariva. Okay.
Rivov and Kiev. That was attacked. That area is actually well, back when it was still the Soviet Union,
Yeah.
that's where my dad was born.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My dad
That's
was
super
born in that area. So, and that was the area at the beginning of the war where most of the people that were fleeing would go out of to Poland. So I don't know. I just have like a connection to everything that's happening, and I hope it gets much better soon.
Yeah. I think did Ukraine like reply to NATO?
I
heard
think they
that.
did. That's a tricky one right now, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't know. Ukraine being a part of NATO would
Yeah.
cause some pretty I guess significant implications for global politics. So I think whatever situation, like the situation would have to improve a lot
Yeah.
for them to be formally inducted into NATO.
Mhm.
But with that, I think we're gonna move on to you know what? Let's take a short break. And we're gonna get some legal stuff out of the way, and we'll be right back with more news. the Upper Montclair, and this is the Morning Buzz. I'm your host, Jake Getz, here with Ian Love, Cassidy Fierro, and Alex Braun.
Yeah.
What's going on, y'all? How are we doing? I feel like we just jumped into news, and I don't even know anything about how you guys are doing. Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
I'm fine. Jeez.
So much sleep last night, to be honest. Like, I went to bed like 11. I usually don't go to bed till like 2. So
I always shoot for 11. Yeah,
I go
no.
to bed by 11, but I don't usually fall asleep because I'm just looking at my phone. And stuff.
Yeah, no, that's a really tough thing. Like on being on the phone in bed, I really don't. I try to avoid such a thing.
And sometimes I'll just like not drop, but place the phone on my floor, like slide it across the room so I won't get up.
Yeah, no facts. That's such a good idea.
Yeah, I used to try and like get myself to a certain time, but if I'm not tired and I try to go to sleep, all it'll make me do is like sit stirring for an hour.
Yeah, you just kind of wallow in your own like brain. And
Yeah, no, and that's
it's not fun. Yeah, no, I
No
hate
fun.
that.
so now I just wait until I get tired and then I go to bed.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I feel like I can't do that because then it wouldn't happen. Like then I'd be going to like bed at 4 a.m. like every night, and it's like that's not sustainable. I get messed up.
I feel like I'm turning into some sort of game with myself. Like, let's see how long we can stay up,
Yeah.
and that's not going too hard for me.
Oh, and then it gets into that really uncomfortable portion where you're up really late, so you start wondering if it would make more sense to go to sleep or just pull the all-nighter.
Yeah.
And like I hate that. Like that should I stay or should I go stuff is so annoying to me.
Great song.
All right. Well,
You know what else is
Good.
Great. Or not.
you know what else is,
Wait, no.
Make sure it's a good snore.
Headline.
for all the viewers or listeners out there reading this all for the first time, or not for the first time, but reading this all. But you have here that Murphy won't have to pardon New Jersey weed crimes despite Biden's order, and here's why. So there is no need for Governor Phil Murphy to pardon anyone convicted of possessing marijuana. And as President Joe Biden on Thursday announced, he was pardoning anyone convicted solely on federal charges of possessing cannabis, urged governors to do the same for those convicted under state laws, and asked officials to look at removing the federal ban on the drug. The White House estimated that more than 6,500 people with federal convictions for simple possession could benefit, plus thousands more convicted under District of Columbia law. Murphy spokeswoman Alyana Alfaro Post said in New Jersey, such a low-level charges were ordered to be expunged in July 2021. So we were ahead of the game.
yeah, as always, honestly. No, that makes a lot of sense. I remember back in like I think the 2020 election, we held the like that was on the ballot, the issue of
Yeah.
weed's legality, and I remember that kind of going in its favor. So I guess that makes a lot of sense. I do think it's funny how like I don't know, Biden did kind of say that like we're going after the federal prosecutions, and like I guess that's like within his power, but so many of the convictions for drug charges are not federal. So yeah, it is kind of cool to see that we were ahead of the game though.
Yeah. It just they make it so confusing for like no reason. Like I think this is my stance. I think weed should be like federally legalized
Yeah.
because just it's legal in so many states. So many states will vote for it to be legalized. It's just like the handful that are still thinking like it's the war on drugs in the Reagan era. I think it just needs to be federally legalized and get the people who really just back in like 1980 who had less than like the least amount now that were put in prison that long ago because they thought it was as bad as like hard drugs. They should be really let out of prison and not had to suffer like 30 years in prison for like this
Mhm.
thing that's not worse than alcohol. It's better than
Yeah.
alcohol. There's been more alcohol deaths linked than
Yeah.
I don't think, well, there's probably people who like drive intoxicated. So I think it's not zero, but it's so far less than
Yeah, connected to
all
the drug itself.
all legalized. And also cigarettes are legalized, which are linked to cancers, heart disease.
Mhm.
And this actually, we found multiple things that marijuana helps with seizures, it helps with cataracts,
Mhm.
it helps with dementia, I think, and just anxiety and all mental issues. So I think just generally it should be legalized across the board and
Yeah.
everything, and these people
yeah.
should be let out of prison.
Mhm.
And it is kind of crazy considering that this is really just like the first thing that needs to be done in order to like do any meaningful like change to the prison system, and like trying to get like just the absolutely just unimaginable insane number of people that are in prison in this country out.
Mhm.
I don't know, that like this is just the first thing that needs to be kind of done about this system.
Yeah. Like
And
6,500 people is like so much.
no, yeah,
Like,
it's
I'm
like
happy that they're
huge.
gonna like potentially benefit, but like that's already so huge. I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, like I guess looking more into like what can be done.
Yeah. Gosh, Ian, anything else to add?
I think it's like a case of, yeah, this whole kind of federal reform, it can be seen as a good thing, but it's also an idea of, well, it shouldn't have been a thing in the first place that we should have had to
Right.
reform, but
Mhm.
better late than never.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, fortunate with these laws, these people who apparently, allegedly, they tell me existed before me, wrote them, and now we have to deal with them and change them if we don't like them. It's wild. It do be like that. Gosh, Ian, want to take us into a next story?
I would love to. So, Montclair State releases annual Jean Cleary Act reform. So, the annual Jean Cleary Act statistics report was released on September 30th, showing increases in rape, fondling, aggravated assaults, burglary, stalking, and dating violence. The Cleary Act is a long-standing federal law that provides transparency for crimes occurring on college campuses across the United States. The act was named after Jean Cleary, a freshman who was raped and murdered while attending Lehigh University in 1986. After Cleary's death, her parents found out that 38 violent crimes occurred before their daughter's enrollment, and that information was never provided by the institution. In 1990, a law was signed, and colleges had to report their annual crime statistics. According to this year's statistics, rape went from 2 in 2020 to 7 in 2021, fondling from 0 to 3, aggravated assault from 1 to 3, burglary from 1 to 5, dating violence from 6 to 10, liquor law arrests from 4 to 6, and stalking from 0 to 1. The report also shows a decline in crimes such as domestic violence, decreasing from 27 cases in 2019 to 8 in 2020 and 7 in 2021. Drugs law arrests went from 20 to 2. Captain Kieran Barrett of Montclair State Police Department said the rising numbers are due to the low amount of resident students who are on campus during the coronavirus pandemic.
That's a very interesting explanation. The low amount of resident students. Like
I'm just trying to think about it. Wait.
like the rising numbers are because less people are here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to wrap my head around that.
Mhm.
I guess it might be that there are less people that maybe since the on-campus community isn't as robust, then maybe
The
there's less
numbers.
like, I guess, oversight, like less people like watching. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
that doesn't really sound right.
Mhm.
Gosh, this is kind of unfortunate to hear, obviously. But gosh, it's good the information's out there. And like,
Yeah.
I kind of wonder, like, do you think that people will like use this to inform their decision
I
about
think
like coming to the school?
I think it definitely should be something that high schools let students know is out there and exists when they're looking in the college search. Like similar to how you look up any other information about a college, like where they rank within all of their different programs. This is something else important that people should be looking at in order to kind of determine whether or not they want to go to a school.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I don't know. It's funny. I'm trying to think of like the specific things that have gone on. I guess like of course like there's a bunch of things that you can go with the pandemic that might have contributed to more antisocial behavior. Just like the amount of quarantining, and I guess I guess with a lot of people like losing out on like maybe 2 years of high school, like that's a lot of um like socialization to like I don't know. It's really we can only speculate, of course. But it's definitely good statistics to be aware about.
Yeah.
Um
I actually am curious, like, what you guys were saying, like, how, if like incoming people are gonna like use this as a, look at it when they're choosing colleges, especially with like,
Mhm.
I don't know, like, and taking consideration like what type of campus is it? Like, is it contained? Like, is it like all like at one spot, or is it like around the city? Is that gonna affect
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
I guess like, is that gonna like play into position like what you guys were saying? But that was just like what I was thinking about it too.
No, you're totally right. And
Mhm.
I feel like it's especially hard with Montclair because like I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I feel like Montclair, the campus is so based on like your individual experience.
Mhm.
Like I feel like depending on what you like the I guess different corners you associate yourself with, the experience can be so different.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I think that like it almost creates like some like sort of I don't know, it's almost sort of vague to get an idea of what life is like here.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, and because it's like compared to other college campuses, we kind of have like a really small campus. Not like
Mhm.
really small; it's a mile long from the Bird to
Mhm.
the Heights. So, I think it just like it depends on who you are and how you or where you are at like the campus and like the mindset and basically like where you live if you live on campus.
And yeah, for what it's worth, according to a niche college resource site, Montclair State ranks in the number 20 safest colleges in New Jersey.
That's pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's I believe that. I normally like especially like I don't know. I guess this doesn't mean as much just because I'm a man and it's not as like dangerous for me. But like I feel like walking around like at night, like I don't even feel like I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes people do talk about sketchy stuff happening, but like I don't know. I personally never experienced that. So we're gonna move on to the next story. um uh Ian, want to take it away with that? Or is that me? Actually, that's a great idea. I'm gonna break it up with break. You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is the Morning Buzz. We'll be right back. My Zoomers. Gosh, I have so much respect for the Zoomers, the Gen Z generation. I can't believe that I would do that to them. Gosh. So this do indeed be the morning buzz if you didn't hear that the first time.
Welcome.
We got some news. This do be the news show, correct?
I think you're mistaken.
It's not.
I don't think so. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Geez, it's the old show. All we play here is just like music, like jazz music and like folksy.
All ragtime.
Yeah, it's just like Woody Guthrie and PC. It's just like folk. That'd be pretty sick. I should have a show like that.
And you report on 1920s news like prohibition has just started.
Yeah. Yo guys, prohibition is a thing.
2022? No, we report from 1922.
Ooh.
We are 100 years back.
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah. Okay. No, I don't want to. Okay. So yeah, we do be at Montclair State, and there is, crazy enough, there's some people who live here. And those people, I've been heard, do need to eat. And we have the story: Montclair State community gives insight on dining services amid contract extension. According to the Montclair State University's contact Chartwell's, the company currently running the campus dining services will expire at the end of the year. Andrew Meese, the university spokesperson, explained the current state of the contract with Chartwell's. Meese said, quote, "The university has given Chartwell's a one-year extension for the 2022-2023 school year. We plan to soon issue a request for proposals and will conduct a competitive bidding process to find a food service supplier that best fits our needs. There have been discussions between Montclair State University and Chartwell's regarding how dining services will support the people within it. The contract with Chartwell's is not secure toward a multi-year deal. It has been somewhat hectic for the university to find common financial ground with the company." Meese also provided detail regarding the future of Montclair State's dining services. One student said he would like to see some new dining locations, while another student emphasized how the food spot depends on the individual student. And shout out to Aiden Ivers for this story. Oh gosh, is this a Montclarian thing? Wow, Aiden wrote this. That's so cool. Big love, Aiden. Gosh, best newscaster. Master caster. Gosh, that do be pretty wild that they're struggling so much, but it's good that they're
Yeah.
trying. I know that oh boy, he's trying. I know that a lot of people complain about the food on campus, and
Yeah.
I guess especially the limited options.
Mhm.
So it's cool that they're doing stuff. Any thoughts?
I mean, how many options can you like have? on
You can
campus?
always get one.
My friends at Rutgers always talk about, oh, we have this, we have that. And I'm like, they have like a pretzel something, and I'm like, yeah, we don't have that. And they're like, oh, really? I'm like get off your high horse real quick, like.
Right. Yeah.
But
I'm just gonna say it 100 times. I just want a bagel at Cafe Dino.
yes,
Yes, bring that back.
Like that's literally all I
good
need.
bagel could fix everything.
Also,
Like, oh,
Good.
sorry, go for it.
there you go.
I was just gonna talk about the bagels more. I was just gonna say that like 3 more
I'm
times.
just gonna say, like, the variety isn't much getting me. Like, what tripped me up about the dining services the most this year, it's the hours that they're open
Oh
and which locations are open when, because it's completely shifted. And especially for somebody like me, I do a lot of the year I'm in rehearsals and we end at 10, and at that point there is maybe one place open on campus, and that's
Right.
the bistro.
The classic.
Or
I
the diner if it's a weekend.
I said it like the other day. I wanted Chili's at like 10 in the morning, and I said hashtag Chili's open at 9 a.m. And then a large group of people said yeah. So I say,
You just start the movie.
not a call to action, but Chili's, can you open at like 9 a.m.? Because I
I want to
kind
get
of
from Chili's at 9 o'clock in the morning.
boneless buffalo wings.
Oh, base.
Base. Yeah, Chili's is the only thorn in my side that I've had with food services this year.
Mm.
Like I got a sandwich at Cafe DM yesterday, and it was the French onion focaccia sandwich.
I wanted to try that. Is that good?
Yeah, it's really good. It's like garlic bread cheese. It's like a grilled cheese garlic bread with onions on a focaccia.
Yeah.
So it was like really good, and I was like, "This is probably one of the
Okay,
best sandwiches."
I'm sorry. That sounds so that's cool, but like I literally can't get like over the fact that they have a French onion soup or whatever that is, or
Is it
or
like cream cheese?
like French onion like sandwich or something, but they don't have just a simple bagel. and cream cheese. That's all I want. I just want to get
Bagel wall.
my coffee and my bagel across from the STM because it's where I spend my life.
Mhm.
All right. And it's so easy. How it wasn't the first thing you did when you were like, how do we add food to this place? Oh, let's throw in some bagels.
Would you say that if they brought the bagels back, you would celebrate?
Yeah, no, I'll have a whole marathon. I'll
Speaking,
do 24 hours of
sorry, you finish your thought there.
I'll do 24 hours of Jake just for the bagels.
Different
Redo the segue. Redo the segue.
Speaking of celebrations, the university celebrates Indigenous Peoples Day. Montclair State University celebrated Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday, October 10th. It was a special on-campus event that not only highlighted thriving Indigenous cultures, but also showcased the institution's commitment to creating hands-on learning opportunities that make a difference in the world. Montclair welcomed the Red Blanket Singers of the Nanticoke Lenni Lenape tribe of New Jersey for a special performance as a part of early evening event. They also served as the formal unveiling of the university's new Native American and Indigenous Studies minor and Montclair's formal land acknowledgement. I
Very
think that's
nice.
pretty cool.
That is super cool. And I think I did see some footage of their performance at the I believe it was in front of the student center.
Oh, it was really
Yeah.
cool. I was at it for like a couple of minutes, and because I was like, they were setting up chairs, and I was like, I wonder what's happening. And then I realized it was Indigenous Peoples Day, and I watched the performance, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then I just had to leave because I had class, but it was really cool to witness.
Yeah, I walked by while I was walking back to my dorm to get ready for class, and it looked like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's super cool. And I think it's really cool to have that like representation on campus, even like with like the people who come in and do performances.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think I feel like we just had some really great stuff on campus for
Yeah.
stuff like that. And
Mhm.
this is a really good example of that.
Yeah, I'm really happy that there's like Indigenous Studies minor and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah, I know. And
Uh-huh.
I know that some of the I don't know. I know like especially within I don't know if it's a part of the SCM, but I think there is some sort of partnership going on. I remember our former digital marketing director or promotions director, something, Yasmin Yilmaz, had like did a lot of great stuff covering the activism for Indigenous peoples and I guess land back movement.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really incredible stuff. And then moving on, we also have a docuseries on Italian American cooking to debut at Montclair State.
Ooh.
Yes, yeah. The Cosia Institute for Italian Experience in America announces the launch of Red Sauce, an Italian American culinary journey, a docuseries produced in collaboration with the School of Communication and Media, Montclair State University. Red Sauce explores how Italian American food, including pizza, chicken, parmesan, spaghetti, and meatballs, and the Philadelphia cheesesteak, transformed America and how through food Italians assimilated into American culture. Narrated by Mark Rotella, director of the Cosia Institute and the Italian American Food Waste Project at Montclair State University. The series will feature established Italian American eateries and will highlight both the restaurant's history and its geographical location and connection to Italian American culture and history. Premiere of Red Sauce will take place today from 6 to 8:30 p.m. here at School of Communication and Media Presentation Hall. Gosh, that
That's
is so cool. Fun fact, I'm actually taking a class with Mr. Mark Rotella
Ooh.
right now. It's a creative nonfiction class, and it's super fun. And I'd be really interested to hear like all about like this because I don't know, his writing style is really cool. He writes for the New York Times and does a lot of very interesting stuff.
That's
And
cool.
I don't know, it's cool to see creative projects like this going on around here.
This is like off topic kind of. I did not know that Philadelphia cheesesteak was
Right?
Right,
considered
no.
Italian.
Me too. That
food.
took me by surprise a bit as well, especially because like
It has
I don't know.
Philadelphia in the name.
That's
That's
Philadelphia.
not in Italy.
That's not an American.
Also, it's not like a sandwich loaded with meat and cheese doesn't like copious mouth liquid cheese.
Uh-huh.
At least said that
Uh-huh.
did not scream Italian.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about cheesesteaks is that they're really not like they're not a very like complicated meal.
No
Liquid cheese is not.
cheese stick and bread.
Yeah,
Maybe some onions. I
With
don't know.
peppers.
Onions and
Yeah.
peppers
onions and
wash.
I feel
peppers
like
do help.
fancy.
That is interesting.
Do you guys how do you guys well, I know it's cheese and steak, but like what kind of cheese?
So like
Pepper jack.
I think
Ooh.
the best cheese for a cheesesteak is fake cheese.
Cheese.
No.
Oh, it's actually
It
true.
is.
No, I feel that.
If you go to Philly, you get
Yeah,
the cheese
I
whiz,
did that too. I went to Philly once, and I actually went to I forget what it's on
the
South
famous
Street.
one,
Yeah, the
the
famous one.
Gino and Pat's.
Maybe.
Yeah, there's like two famous that like they're right next to each other.
Yeah, I think I went to at least one of those, and I went with the real cheese because I thought like, oh, that's like probably the most like legitimate and like that's probably like the thing, you know?
Yeah.
But that's
Wait,
not the
there's
thing.
an
The
option?
cheese whiz is the thing.
They asked
Whiz
you
with-
if you want fake cheese or real cheese.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get cheese whiz or provolone.
Like cheese was from like spray can or like the
No, they
liquid,
make it
like not
themselves, but
Mhm.
like it's like with Velveeta,
okay.
so it's not like
Velveeta.
Provolone's
love
not a good
Velveeta.
option.
so it's not like real cheese, but it's technically
Mhm.
cheese,
Technically,
like
Mm.
FDA basic standards of cheese.
it's cheese product, but not
Yeah.
cheese.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's really good with cheese and onions at like Gino's. That's where me and my family always go. We're in Philly, so
Ah,
Delicious.
dang. Yeah. Gosh.
Last
Now
time I went to Philly was, I don't know, Philadelphia was for the Franklin Institute in like 5th grade, and that was the last time I got a cheese
Oh
there.
best
wow.
museum.
Yeah,
Yes.
6th grade. I went on.
Oh
a
wow,
Philly
I
trip.
do love the Franklin Institute. I remember I went there like a really long time ago, but it was so cool.
Second to the Liberty Science Center.
Yeah.
I'm honestly so sick
Gosh.
of those places. Like I've been there so many times for my summer camp, and I'm like, I could like tell you the layout.
Yeah. Man, I just want to get a cheesesteak and go to a museum.
Mhm.
Ugh,
It doesn't. Okay.
it doesn't.
Oh, I should probably come to the mic.
Okay.
Giving
Some hot
giving my
take here.
2 cents about Liberty Science Center. I went before the semester started for the Minecraft exhibit,
Right.
and it does not slap as an adult.
No, I'm sure. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Please
I'm
don't
sure the
put my
Minecraft-
notion of it.
I know. But just was the Minecraft exhibit fun? Yeah, of course it was. But before we even went inside, the fire alarm went off.
Jeez.
So we waited outside for like an hour, but then we got in and it was fun. It was cute. It was fresh. But then we walked around everywhere else and it just didn't really hit that hard.
Dang.
I know. Plus, I have like the worst ADHD. So like reading the things, I was
Right.
like, what?
Paragraphs and paragraphs of small text for these kids to read. I'm like, no kid is gonna read that.
Also, the brain games on like the 3rd floor were not fun.
Really?
I was not having a good time because I couldn't get the puzzle.
Isn't that the point to like be like they break your brain?
Jake, I could not get the puzzle. I was
That's
doing it
alright.
for like 20 minutes,
Oh wow.
25 minutes.
Did you go through the tunnel?
They didn't have the touch tunnel.
The heart tunnel?
It's gone. I didn't see it.
And then what's the
I guess
point, though?
COVID probably caused complications with that.
I used to wear glow and dark bracelets and go in there.
Bro, may the touch tunnel rest in peace. Anyway,
Yes.
you may continue.
No, you were a trooper. You were a real one. Pour one out. Gosh, yeah, we do have some segments.
We do have
Cass, is this
segments.
true?
I think it's true. Yeah.
Can you confirm?
I can confirm and I will get started. So Christian Bale, he was the villain in Thor: Love and Thunder, and he discussed talk about filming the film, and he said that was monotonous, and he had no idea what to do on the set. So currently on Rotten Tomatoes, the film has a 64% score and has a mixed review from fans, but apparently Christian Bale also had some issues while filming. When talking about acting with so many green screens, he said that it was the first time he had done it and that it was a definition of monotony. I can't say that word. Anyways,
Monotony.
he could not. He said, "Can you differentiate one day from the next?" Nope, absolutely not. He also mentioned that he could not differentiate one stage from the next, saying that all the stages were blue, and that when they would tell him to go, for example, to stage 7, he would be on stage 3 and could be confused about where to go. And then he was asked about method acting because he also does that on sets. But he said it would have been a pitiful attempt to do that on this set.
Jeez, I remember there was a video that went viral a couple years ago when they were filming The Hobbit of I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name. Who's the actor? Is it like Ian McKellen? I want to say the
Yeah,
actor that plays
Gandalf?
Gandalf.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like he's filming The Hobbit, but he's in all green screens, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
literally starts crying
Oh my god.
and he says like, "This is not why I became an actor."
Oh my god.
Because like I don't know, it's especially when you film the original trilogy, which did so much like inventive stuff to
Mhm.
like film those scenes practically and like with such beautiful sets and stuff, to go from that to just a bunch of greens and you're talking to a little tennis ball tied to a stick,
Yeah.
like that must be so demoralizing.
Yeah, like I would be pretty discouraged.
And especially when you have a background in theater
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you're used to all this being around, like I don't know, that must be such a soulless experience.
Yeah, and like I can't imagine like what he said, like you can't differentiate one day from the next. Like you're doing the same thing on the same like plane of existence. Like it's you have to use your imagination like 24/7, and even at that, like you still don't know what it's gonna look like at the end product.
Yeah.
That's true. Like all these actors in Marvel movies, they don't know what's like. They tell them what's happening, but they're not gonna know
Mm-hmm.
like what the movie looks like till they watch the movie at the same time as we are watching the movie. Well, at least the premiere at least. So that's pretty like kind of disheartening because movies is supposed to be like acting and people are like together and like you're going
Yeah.
off of somebody. So I can see why Marvel movies are not like have so much heart as they
Yeah.
used to
Mhm.
because of all this new technology.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of other movies, Tom Cruise's new space movie will include him doing an actual spacewalk.
What?
Yeah.
Like a moonwalk, like
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, or
Oh,
what's a
like
spacewalk?
in space.
He's gonna be on the moon.
Yes. So
He's going to the moon.
yes, he's known for doing many stunts in his movies, like skydiving in the Mission Impossible series. But now he's taking it to a whole other level by becoming the first civilian to do a spacewalk outside of a space station.
Oh, so
The film is still untitled, but the overarching plot of it is that it takes place on Earth, and then the character needs to go up to space and save the day, because what else would Tom Cruise need to do? So apparently the film is also like it has a partnership with NASA. That's how I think this is happening. And then it will include Tom's character walking out of the space station itself. NASA administrator Jim Bernstein said that the decision to take part of this film is a part to inspire a new generation of engineers and scientists. Oh my god.
This movie
That's
better
sweet.
be really good, because if
Yes.
it's not good, they're wasting this pivotal moment in cinematic history. They could potentially be wasting this moment for the most mediocre action movie you have ever seen, and that's so disappointing to think about.
Literally.
I feel like it's just gonna be Mission Impossible, but in space.
Yeah, honestly,
I
at
don't
this
think they need
point,
to do that.
dedicating it to the Mission Impossible franchise, it's just kind of sad. Like,
I don't think it's a Mission Impossible movie, actually.
oh, it's not.
No.
yeah, but I feel
Oh,
like
like
it's just
in-
gonna
But,
be
like-
that style, like, oh, I'm the good guy and a bad guy's trying
Yeah.
to destroy
Uh-huh.
the earth, and then
Yeah.
I gotta save them. Like I don't think
Okay.
it's gonna be like that.
That's
anything
good to
different.
know, because like I feel like that franchise is kind of washed up a bit. But that actually gives me a little bit of hope that maybe since so much like time, like so much work is going into it, they'll invest in some writing.
Sorry, writing budget was spent on getting an
Yes.
astronaut.
Yeah, I'm
Good.
getting our man in space.
Exactly.
So we're just gonna hire a couple. I don't know. It's kind of crazy how like movies like that with such big budgets and like extensive planning get
Yeah.
written so, I don't know,
I heard
bland.
that like this movie's gonna like have like a $200 like million thousand like budget. I can't even speak right now, but that's a lot of money.
So you're about to say $200 budget. I'm like,
It's a $200 budget, but
We're up into the sky, maybe like into space.
They're strapping him into a firework.
God. You're listening to 90.3 WMSC up in Montclair, by the way, in case you were wondering. This do be the morning buzz. We're going into space.
Yes. Oh.
We're coming, Tom Cruise.
He's not gonna be the first civilian. We're gonna beat him out.
Yes.
Yeah, we're actually the villain in this movie.
We could be for the first college radio station that goes to space.
Oh, really?
Honestly,
Live broadcast.
Like, bro,
I support
NASA.
that so much.
Yes. NASA.
NASA,
Hit us up.
Yeah. Where are you?
Not a call to action.
Yeah.
Not in the call to action,
Love
but
it.
like, if you want.
If you feel like it, hit us up.
So one of the last things that I found was that so everybody remembers like Barney, the innocent dinosaur who would sing songs about being kind, making friends, and cleaning up toys. Now he is getting his own documentary called "I Love You, You Hate Me."
What?
Yes.
I don't. Okay, I have a story to share in a sec. But please continue.
Series isn't like about Barney himself. It's more about the hate that he got from all people of all ages. After the 90s and through the 2000s, Barney turned into a quote cultural punching bag. It was subject to so much hate. Mitchell, an academic from the University of Chicago, wrote that in 1989, that Barney was on the receiving end of more hostility than just about any other popular cultural icon. Parents admit to the choral dislike of him, and no self-respecting second grader will admit to liking Barney. Bob West, who provided the voice of Barney from 1992 to 2000, says that the production of the show was a blissful experience that sometimes was shadowed by dark intrusions, such as threats that he often received by email. When asked if he knew what the motivation behind the threats were, he said that how those threats were coming from like middle school kids, and that they were quote doing the thing that they were trying to throw off the childhood and trying to be cool. I'm sure that lots of them were having emotional issues, or maybe they're just having trouble at home. There's just no way to know. End quote.
Yeah. No, I think there's definitely some truth to the idea that like some people at some point realize that Barney is very unapologetically for kids, and they're like, well, I'm a big boy now. I can't like Barney. In fact, I hate Barney.
Wait, what was your story?
Yeah. So when I say that I can see some people feeling that way, what I mean is I maybe sort of felt that way. And I actually got in trouble once for drawing a picture in art class of Barney on fire.
So what grade is that?
That was in
Last week.
yeah, that was in first or second grade.
Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they like sent it home to my parents. Everything, it was tough.
When I was little too, I didn't hate Barney, but I remember one night I got like really scared for some reason because my sister told me the person who played Barney like went to prison.
Oh,
Yeah, that was too.
Yeah, and so I got really scared that he was gonna come after me, but he would be in like his Barney costume.
oh my gosh, that is genuinely terrifying.
Mhm.
And I also kind of want to add that like I didn't come up with the Barney's on fire idea myself. It's actually, if you're not familiar, a very early internet viral video where they wrote this song and this very crudely animated video about it. I don't know that it's funny because like I bring that up just because it wasn't just me, right? Like it's not just like
No, yeah.
this
like,
is
my
clearly
high school
like a
hated
pretty
it for
widespread
some reason.
thing.
I'm just like there was so much hate that they have to not have to like there's enough material for this to be a documentary.
Mhm.
That's what I'm just
Honestly,
thinking.
I would totally watch that documentary of
I
like
think it's premiering today. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
of how many people hate Barney.
No, like the I Love You like the series is out.
Oh,
where's it on?
You
Peacock, I
hate
think
me.
it is.
oh.
Oh.
Gosh, yeah, maybe I'll check it out. Okay.
Relive your
Um,
hatred.
Oh, hey, I was so confused. Okie doke. So I guess with that we can move into we're gonna take a bit of a break, and when it comes back, you better be ready because it's chaos hour. You're to 90.3 WMSC, and we will be right back. Braun. It's been a fun show so far, but now we're in chaos hour, and it's gonna get pretty wild, pretty crazy, pretty wacky. But first we gotta get all the get grounded. You can't get wacky until you're here. So we gotta get some news in. And today I'm your newscaster. Isn't that crazy? I'm going back to my roots. This is where I started. Started from the bottom. Now we right back. Today, Ukraine's biggest nuclear power plant, which is surrounded by Russian troops, has lost all external power needed for vital safety systems for the second time in 5 days. The head of the UN nuclear watchdog called it a deeply worrying development. For national news, President Joe Biden said that there will be consequences for Saudi Arabia as the Riyadh-led OPEC alliance moves to cut oil production, and Democratic lawmakers call for a freeze on the cooperation with the Saudis. Biden suggested he would soon take action as aides announced that the administration is reevaluating its relationship with the kingdom in light of the oil production cut. For New Jersey news from ABC7NY, immigrants and renters of color in Passaic, Elizabeth, and Perth Amboy continue to struggle to afford rapidly rising rents and live in unsafe environments, but largely did not apply for rental assistance. For weather, Right now it's chilly, 47 degrees and sunny because the sun is rising. It's risen. We have a sunny day planned ahead with a high of 70 and a low of 47. And tomorrow we're going to have a chance of 60% rain, as we will have a high of 69 and a low of 56. And it definitely won't hurt to carry an umbrella tomorrow, just in case. I hate getting caught in the rain. It's always so sad when I have to walk all the way back to my car. Okay, that's it for news and weather. That's enough about life. I want to hear about sports.
Sports. We got tons of great sport news because the MLB playoffs have started with the first National League game. The Phillies beat the Atlanta Braves 7-6, and the New York Yankees came out with a stellar win against the Cleveland Guardians 4-1. So I'm really happy today because also hockey started last night. The New York Rangers have started off with a rematch from last year's Eastern Conference Final against the Tampa Bay Lightning, which the Rangers won 3-1. Let's hope the Rangers can keep it going when they verse Minnesota tomorrow at 8. And the New Jersey Devils will play they will play. Hold on, it's getting there. We're getting the Philadelphia Flyers at 7 p.m. tomorrow. And in Montclair sports news, the Montclair State's men's soccer team won 3-0 against Rowan the other night, and the Redhawks visit Rutgers Newark at the NJAC matchup Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. The Montclair State's women's soccer team suffered their first setback this season, falling 1-0 against Rowan University on Saturday, and the Redhawks will host the Rutgers Newark New Jersey Athletic Conference play tonight at 7 p.m. at MSU Park. I've been Alex, and this has been Sports.
Thank you so much, Alex, for all that sports news. I'm so happy I have all that information in my brain right now. Gosh. So for Chaos Hour, I'm going to throw it off to probably, potentially, feasibly, one of the most chaotic people at the station. My own voice, it makes me sad. None other than JT Bethia, who did an interview with a Grammy winning artist. So do we have that up? Let's cut that. I'm not hearing much at the moment except my own voice, which is giving me existential dread. Yes. All right. So one moment, people. Gosh, this is really tough. Hearing the feedback. Jeez. JT, I just need JT's lovely voice right now. Yeah. Welcome.
For Montclair, how we living, how we feeling, how we vibing. I go by the name JT Bethia, and right now I have one heck of a guest with me, sitting right across from me in studio. I am joined by 3-time Grammy Award winning writer, composer, producer, king of the mic, beatbox icon, Rozelle.
Myself. Let's try now. And now it's not working.
What's up, WMC Upper Montclair? How we living, how we feeling, how we vibing. I go by the name JT Bethia, and right now I have one heck of a guest with me.
We're gonna play it through. Wait.
Okay.
We're gonna play it through there, I guess.
What's up, WMC Upper? What's up, WMC?
Try it one more time.
What's up, WMC Upper Montclair? How we living, how we feeling, how we vibing? I go by the name JT Bethia, right now I have one heck of a guest with me sitting right across from me. In studio. What's up, WMC Upper Montclair? How we living, how we feeling, how we vibing? I go by the name JT Bethia, right now I have one heck of a guest with me sitting right across from me in studio. I am joined by 3-time Grammy Award winning writer, composer, producer, king of the mic, beatbox icon, Rahzel. Yes sir, yes sir, my man. What's up, WMC Upper Montclair? How we living, how we feeling, how we vibing? I go by the name JT Bethia, right now I have one heck of a guest with me sitting right across from me in studio. I am joined by 3-time Grammy Award winning writer, composer, producer, king of the mic, beatbox icon, Rahzel. Yes sir, yes sir, my man. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today. Real quick, if you could go a little further into who you are for the goons who don't know.
My name is Rahzel from the legendary Roots crew, beatbox extraordinaire, pioneers and curators of the human beatbox.
Yeah, you are up there with Dougie Fresh. You are definitely a major deal in the beatbox industry. But before we get into that, let's start off with a little bit of business. So you just kicked off your residency series here at Montclair State. Tell me, what is that like?
Man, that was it's been amazing. It's a pleasure for me to be able to share the history of the human beatbox and share my own history and journey in this musical industry. So it's been awesome so far.
We love to hear that. And what exactly are you most ready to teach the students?
I mean, actually, it's just my experience, so I know a lot of the students, whether they're vocalists or, communication major, whatever they want to involve themselves with for their career. I speak from a place where I was at that point in the beginning trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, with my career, and family. Just giving them my point of view and giving them the encouragement, because I know sometimes you can't really see that far ahead of yourself. So to me, the tenacity and just having the ability to overcome a lot of things and just push through, so like I made a comment yesterday, be prepared to fail and fail fast. The quicker you get over it, the sooner you can move on. You understand? It's all a part of your development. It's all a part of evolution. So it's going to happen. Be prepared for it. Be ready to move on and understand.
Yes, sir.
You have to continue, this is your destination, so you have to get there. This is your goals, you have to reach those things.
Right.
But it's been awesome. I've been received well, and a lot of the students were like, wow, kind of gave me a different perspective on how to look at how I want to pursue my career.
That's all amazing. And it's really interesting that you bring up the fact that you didn't really know what you wanted to do, because a lot of us have that going on. But somehow, Mr. Rahzel, you found a way to do both. As we know, rap itself has only recently started to be respected as a genre.
Right.
People were treating it like it was nothing more than rhyming words to a beat.
Right.
But if anyone has broke that stigma, it's been you. You've mastered beatboxing while rapping.
Rapping, singing,
All of that.
At
the same time.
multiplicity sounds, being able to just push the envelope.
Exactly. How did you learn to do all that, by the way?
I mean, honestly, self-taught, and a lot of faith in God. You have to believe in divine intervention, because a lot of the things that we do, sometimes we can't even explain it. So it's always a higher power. But I'd say self-taught and determination. To me, it's how you look, how you view the world, how you look at yourself, and how you want to bring things to life. So I've always been an advocate for music since a young kid. I have musical talents in my family. Actually, my cousin is Raheem from Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. So, early on in my early teens, he was a big influence on me. So that just kind of kick-started a lot of things, but I was always a curious kid and watched a lot of cartoons and listened to radio and was just wondering, whose voice is that? Because, the younger generation today, you guys have access to so many different things and you get to see it. Back then, we really couldn't see. We were listening.
That was a completely
so
different
we had
vibe.
to use our imagination on what the person might look like, or even we watch cartoons or animation. You just hear the voice. You don't really see who the person is. So that leads to your imagination. Whether even if it's claymation or regular animation or video games, it's always a voice involved. So I was always that kid like, who's doing that voice? So I would read the credits and find out who was doing the voice. We all go through this phase as children because our minds are sponges and growing, and we want to learn more information. So I'm pretty much self-taught. I'm trained my own ear to pay attention. As our parents always say, pay attention. And I think I took it to a whole different level of paying attention, like a little OCD with it,
That's what listening to your parents get you.
Yeah.
From a music standpoint, when you record, as we've seen on songs like Iron Man, when you do what you do live, where you perform and beatbox at the same time, or do you take it step by step, lay a beat track and then lay your vocal track?
No, I do it live. Sometimes it's improv. Yeah. Sometimes you have the idea in your head. Sometimes it could be on the spot. You're like, okay, I don't know where we're going, but we're gonna do it. So it's with improvisational talent, don't worry about there's no inhibitions. You just go. It's your world. Like, no one can tell you if it's right or wrong, if it's off key, because the greatest gifts are the mistakes. So a lot of the times when I come up with stuff, it's on the spot. Some things I may write down. I think this is cool. Let me record this. Yeah, let me save that. But a lot of the times, a lot of the gems that I've created have been like, let me see how this would sound, and I do it live in front of people, like on the spot.
Want to show a little bit of it right now? Let's hear it.
Yeah, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now witnessing Razel, the Incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now witnessing the Incredible.
I think we found our new show, Mo. I love that. Man, what type of challenges does such a skill like that come from? I know they say everything gets easier over time, but with a talent like that, does it really ever get easier?
I mean, you have to keep pushing the envelope, and what's so great now, it's like with technology, a lot of the younger kids, they're like this being real innovative with it and kind of taking it to this next step. And, and as music change, we've been going in this direction maybe for the past maybe 10 years, EDM, we're going back to techno and house music. Now, Beyonce just dropped like a house type vibe album. So did Drake, so we kind of taking that turn back to that. And, a lot of the kids are kind of picking up on that. So you would hear these beats that they're creating, like 180 beats per minute or 200 beats per minute, and it's pretty exciting. But you have to just keep pushing the envelope, and to me, it's just perfecting the sounds. From a young age, being like my mentor, teaching me the facts of trying to sound like an instrument, but less human. That's always been like my goal. Like, okay, I want you to be able to close your eyes and not be able to tell if it's somebody doing it with an actual drum or a drum machine, or if it's a human voice.
Well, I'm looking right at you, and you could have fooled me.
So you have to keep pushing the envelope, with the talent and the skill. So, I mean, I don't say it gets harder. It becomes more and more interesting. It's like, okay, where can I take it now? Like, what level can I take this? So, and I also believe in the art of collaboration. So to me, that takes it to a whole different level as well. Like performing with the students here at Montclair State University has been off the chain. So
I can imagine.
So that's just another level. You just have to do things that others aren't thinking about, and I've always been that type of person.
Now, aside from beatboxing, who would you say is your biggest influence when it comes to making music in general?
Oh man, I would say like my biggest influence that kind of changed the trajectory of where I was going was probably Bobby McFerrin and Al Jarreau, like the earlier the artists that came before the hip hop, talking about jazz, blues, bebop, and all those type of genres of music. So yeah, the older guys definitely influenced which direction I wanted to go. Don't get me wrong, hip hop has been a huge influence on my foundation, but as far as musically, it gave me a different perspective on how I wanted to produce hip hop.
Exactly. You don't always get your own genre from people in your genre. Like
Right.
Some hip hop artists will give Broadway artists and pop artists their own inspiration. So it does not surprise me at all that type of talent that came from you. A lot of people would always say they might go for the Tupac route, or they might go for the beginnings, but for some reason, listening to that, I knew it was more than just the beginnings of hip hop. I was able to tell it, and you make that very clear. And that's definitely an inspiration for other artists too, trying to find their niche, trying to some people think they have to stay in one zone to make it, and that's not it at all.
That's not it. That's why I always say the art of the collaboration. And I can't leave out, like, the foundation of everything, because if it wasn't for Grandmaster Flash actually introducing the drum machine called the beatbox, a lot of this wouldn't even exist. You understand? So I gotta definitely give him a big shout out for, kind of changing or creating or help develop, the fifth element of hip hop, which is the beatbox.
All right, now you brought up collaboration, so I want to ask you, who are some of your favorite artists that you've collaborated with?
Oh man, I was talking to the students yesterday, and I forgot to mention a good friend of mine, Ben Harper. So if you're listening, if you get an opportunity, put Ben Harper and the Innocent Criminals on your playlist. Very, very down to earth artist. I mean, super talented, super cool guy, and totally musically inclined. So I mean, he definitely is one of my favorites. I would say Bjork, definitely a favorite. I can't leave out the Roots, the legendary Roots crew.
Yes, sir.
You understand? Man, who else? Actually working with Maroon 5 was pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I mean, I work with tons of artists, and I mean, the list is so long. Styles P, Sean Price, Sadat X. I mean, we can, the list. Black Thought. I mean, Common. So the list is crazy.
Got some legends on that list.
Yeah.
Very inspiring, especially again for artists. We have a lot of artists at the school, so it's definitely amazing. I got to keep on reiterating that having an in residency such as yourself, inspiring. I'm not even gonna lie. It's kind of unexpected from Montclair State.
Nice.
And so when I saw, the lineup, I was like, oh man, this is gonna bring some good stuff. Not only just for you, but for the artists themselves. And it's great that you bring up the Roots, because I did have that down, something to talk about. I want to tell us about your history with them. How was it working with one of the most celebrated hip hop groups of all time?
Man, listen, that's a part of my DNA. That's a part of my history. And actually my first time being immersed into a group, and it was a live band situation. And you know, Black Thought, one of the top 5 lyrical monsters in the hip hop genre.
Yes, sir.
Man, it was definitely an experience, and it definitely opened my eyes. Like I said, I'll go back to again the art of the collaboration. So actually, you know, being around the roots and, you know, touring around the world and in different countries and different cities and meeting the most talented musicians and vocalists from around the world, from around the planet, you know, it was definitely a phenomenal experience. You know, it's a part of my curriculum in life, you know, on how I look at music. Like, you know, you have to always be willing to work with others in order to make magic, you know.
I stumbled upon an interview back in 06 where you were asked what elements of hip hop are currently missing instead of the basic, how do you feel about the current state of hip hop? Now, 16 years later, I want to re-ask that question. What do you think hip hop needs today?
I mean, hip hop definitely needs the beatbox.
Yes, sir.
We definitely need that element. I mean, we already know about the DJ and the MC, which is, you know, they've always been in the forefront of the different elements. But I think, you know, we need to bring the other 3 more forward in the forefront of what's happening right now, because I don't want to take anything away from any of the elements, but you know, I think hip hop definitely needs the creativity. You know, you don't want to lose sight of creativity, where with graffiti and breakdancing and beatboxing, it's so creative. Not saying that lyrically people can't be creative, but
that's just one element.
Yeah, but what we're listening to now, sometimes it, you know, becomes a little redundant. So that's where you got to kind of just introduce some more creativity to the genre.
You know, we talked about earlier before, artists are starting to bring back some of the original elements, such as house and EDM.
Right.
So, you know, it's not too far-fetched to predict the return of the beatbox eventually. People are already starting to do it themselves. You hear artists playing with their ad-libs, and it's starting to get back to that. That's something I'm noticing. So, yeah, within the next couple of years, somebody will probably hop in with the beatbox, and somebody's going to act like it's original.
Exactly. That's how it always goes. Right.
Oh, man. We'll be talking about that when it happens. I'll make sure to call you back. Aside from your in residency here at Montclair State, what future projects do you have coming, if any?
Oh man, you know, I've been working on this project called, you know, the Roots Disciples, and you know, it's just eclectic of different musicians, and we're kind of just jamming out, creating some real break grooves, an arrangement where instrument meets vocal abilities, you know. So it's kind of like if you go back, I'm taking from a page of Al Jarreau. Like over COVID, I really dove into listening to Al Jarreau and looking at a lot of his videos from the mid 70s, and the way he curated how he did his vocal percussion, and then how the band incorporated all of those things and mesh those 2 different dynamics. I was like, wow. So I think I need to do something like that. That needs to come back. You know what I mean? Because that's definitely a part of our history, you know. I'm working on those things. I'm working on a documentary, working on a couple of scores. Actually, I'm working on a score of this animation called Strays. It'll be out next year, 2023. With Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
That'll be coming out next year, so that should be a huge
I'll keep
movie.
my calendar marked
Yeah,
for
it's
that.
called Strays, so you can look it up on I think it's
IMDb.
Yeah, so you can look it up on there. It'll be out next year, and I'm working with a few producers on that. You know, working on a score. So yeah, man, I got some things coming down the pipe.
One of the last things I want to get to, where can we find you and all your work, both future and past?
You guys can check me out on Twitter, Rozelle the Legend, Instagram, Rozelle the Legend. Hit me up on Facebook, Rozelle M. Brown, and all other platforms, LinkedIn, Rozelle M. Brown. You can check out my webpage, rootsdisciples.com. You know, we got some new music coming. We got some new movies coming. We got a lot of it, you know, a little bit of everything coming. So, You know, look out for that.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right, before I let you go, man, this is WMSC, the 2021 best college station in the nation. WMSC, where music stays cool. Real quick, you did it before. I'm going to ask you one more time. Would you do a quick improv? I'll hand you our phone to do this both on mic and on video.
Bronze. How y'all? We're almost at the end of the show. How you guys holding up?
I'm great.
I'm doing better than I ever have.
Yeah,
Nice.
the beatboxing was really cool though.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
No,
listening
it's
to
incredible. I wish I could do. I wish I could do it.
that. Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Like Ian and I were like saying like how do you even find out you can do something like that?
Yeah, right. Like, how does that become your thing? I guess
Mhm.
like, I don't know. Especially if like rap music was more like integral to your like from an early age.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like I wasn't introduced to it until like I was a bit older. So like, I don't know. Yeah. But we got some really good entertainment news. There's actually a lot going on in the world of like entertainment and stuff. A lot of stuff. Not all of it's good. I'm actually gonna say basically none of it's good. But things do indeed be happening. And starting off, sources say Blink 182 to headline huge NJ New Jersey Beach Festival next year. A New Jersey Beach Festival. That sounds like a bad idea. Okay. 4 years after Van's Warped Tour commanded the Atlantic City Beach in 2019, it appears another major pop punk and emo festival will invade the sand next year. Emos don't go to the beach. Don't you guys know this?
Yeah.
A website and social page for a new event called the Adjacent Festival. Adjacent launched yesterday. It said it would take place Memorial Day weekend, May 27th and 28th, 2023, on Atlantic City Beach, though no information was yet posted. But pop punk icons Blink-182 appear to have spilled the beans on their Insta story. Whoops. They listed a May 28th date in Atlantic City on their new tour poster. This tour includes co-founding artist Tom DeLonge for the first time in 7 years. A spokesperson for Live Nation, who is listed as promoter for the band's upcoming tour, declined to comment. A person with knowledge of the festival's lineup confirmed Blink-182, as well as a list of Warped Tour era popular bands. Pop punk favorites The Starting Line and hardcore powerhouse Not to Loose both shared Adjacent Festival images in their Instagram stories late Monday, suggesting their inclusion. Geez, I think like the big news here is that like the pretty big rift between Blink-182 and their former vocalist Tom DeLonge.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I know. He was out of the
Yeah.
band for so long. They had another guy in. And a part of me is kind of wondering, like, because it's not like the person they got to replace him, Matt Skiba, he was from another band. I forget which one. I don't know like what they did with him. You know, he's just not in the promo for it, and it's just like, dang, okay, is he just an unperson now? Like,
Maybe like Tom.
did
came-
he get disappeared?
Just sent him on.
Oh, he left.
Oh wow.
Oh, so he like had left? Didn't like? Wait, I'm confused. I'm talking about Matt Skiba,
History.
the Three Doors.
Since 2015.
Oh, the new vocalist has been in the band since 2015. Yes. Okay, but now Tom's going back for the.
Where's Matt going?
Yeah, like where did he go? Like that's just what I want to know because he's not just standing in the
Maybe
picture.
like, Tom said, "Hey, I'll come back," and they say, "Yeah, bye."
He's like, all right, weird. Never mind.
Where'd you go?
Blink-182 is an American rock band formed in Conway, California in 1992. The current lineup consists of bassist and vocalist Mark Hoppus, guitar vocalist Tom DeLonge, and drummer Travis Baker.
Jeez, wait, but is this like official? Is this a part of the band or is it just one?
My guest star.
It looks like they might have like tweeted that Tom was coming back.
Wow, the questions really just never stop.
Another questions I have is water parks gonna be at the festival?
Dude, a festival with water parks. Could you imagine moshing in a wave pool?
Not like an actual the band water park. But a water park festival would also be really cool.
Yeah, so long as no one dies.
Best idea I've ever heard.
Yeah, no, that is a very bad idea to people.
We have a
Don't
lot
do
of
that. If any
Water parks should have their set in one of the water parks. That's it.
having a
Why
one
haven't they
band
done-
show
how
would
have they
be
not
good.
done that yet?
Having a festival would be a recipe for a funeral.
Literally, I worked at a summer camp over the summer, and I was at a water park, and they had to turn off the wave pool because like it was becoming a hazard.
Yeah, wave pools are scary. I feel
Mhm.
like it's wild. It's like one thing in the ocean when it's just a bunch of sand and like it's so vast, but I feel like in such an enclosed space to be getting
When
tossed
people are,
around like
pushing
that.
each other like to get.
Yeah, they also get really crowded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever
Oh,
really been in one.
Look up like a not like you guys in the studio, not anybody else. But if you want to, look up a video of people like crowded wave pools, and it's just like
Yeah.
it's just like a unified mass of people just going up and down, up and down. And it's just the funniest thing.
Just a
That's
sea of
scary.
humans.
You know what else is scary? The preservation of bodies.
Ah,
Ooh. So we just found out the Arizona cryonics facility preserving bodies to revive later. Let's talk about it.
Mm-mm.
Time and death are on pause for some people in Scottsdale, Arizona. Inside tanks filled with liquid nitrogen are the bodies and heads of 199 humans who opted to be cryopreserved in hopes of being revived in the future when science has advanced beyond what it is capable of today. Many of the patients, as Alcor Life Extension Foundation calls them, were terminally ill with cancer, ALS, or other diseases with no present-day cure. The cryopreservation process begins when a person is declared legally dead. Blood and other fluids are removed from the patient's body and replaced with chemicals designed to prevent the formation of damaging ice crystals. Vitrified at extremely cold temperatures, Alcor patients are then placed in tanks at the Arizona facility for as long as it takes for technology to catch up. The minimum cost is $200,000 for a body and $80,000 for the brain alone. Most of the Alcor's almost 1,400 living members pay by making the company beneficiary of life insurance policies equal to the cost. That is wild.
Zydrate comes in a little glass vial. Yeah, that's so. That's scary. I don't know. How do we feel about this? Would you get cryopreserved?
Because, like, is it real?
Tell me in the
Like,
comments.
have we frozen a person and then they come back in like a year and they were like, "Oh, I'm perfectly fine."
Yeah,
Like,
that
have we,
definitely
like,
has never
tested this
happened.
yet?
It's definitely a shot in the dark, but I guess like it's better. Like you might as well. Like you can't exactly take that money with you where you're going, right? So might as well throw it into the one chance you have.
Also, not to bash on the company, I think that it's a great idea what they're trying to
Mhm.
accomplish. Is it possible? Possibly not. But just the name Alcor Life Extension Foundation sounds like something from a sci-fi movie.
Alcor. I'd like to hear the explanation for Alcor. Where'd that come from?
Mhm.
It kind of reminds me of like hardcore, like not that hard, you know. It's like, ow, like, it's all right.
You don't want to see
It's all right, core.
I can't believe close to 200 people.
Yeah, I
do
mean,
this. That's crazy. I don't like the idea of this. That's just my opinion. Like something about this just doesn't seem. It's not natural.
right?
I don't like the.
Oh, you wouldn't get
unnaturalness of it.
cryopreserved?
Oh no.
I-
Sorry.
if I knew it would work,
If I
maybe.
But also, like, if you're, because, like, again, like, this is like terminally ill individuals.
Mhm.
So it's like, if you got the cash for it,
Mm,
I feel like it's worth a shot, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's perspective. Like in a way, it's like this could be really good for the scientific research of it. But I think we need to find out first the legitimacy of it. Like we
Yeah.
need to
Right.
see studies saying that, hey, this works. And just like to calm any tribulations we might have.
Yeah, I feel like there at the very least needs to be some sort of argument for this is a thing, like, because it's obviously not possible right now, but like you have to be able to say this is the thing that could potentially, like, in some, like, you need to have some approach to like how it might be possible and how the preservation process that you use might complement it, and like how exactly, like, oh, like this part of yourself is preserved and they might be able to do this with it in the future. Like, I don't know, otherwise it's just like we'll freeze you up
Yeah.
and hope for the best.
How? Let's say if this does work. It says that their bloods and other fluids have been removed. So are they going to like pump them up with blood again?
Yeah,
Can you do that?
That's what I'm like. There's so many things to
Gosh.
think about.
Yeah, let's not even talk about that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes away the fear of death.
Right? Like you just don't have to think about it
Yeah,
anymore.
you're like, I'll just come back.
Like
I don't
I'll
have to
just,
worry about it. It's like taking a long nap.
you know, they'll wake me up when they're ready.
But like, just this whole it's so
It's very
confusing.
ethical.
No, it's
question.
wild. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so much here, and it's just kind of honestly, like, yeah, it's probably a little, like, it's tough because like if people are actually signing up for this, I don't want to call their like life plan a cope, but like it is very copey behavior. Lars Accardi with a banger quote to end this. They'll wake me up when September ends.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
2025.
All right, moving on to a somehow even worse story. Elon Musk sells 11 million worth of new perfume, Burnt Hair is the title of this perfume. I guess maybe it's an anti-perfume. I don't want to find out, but I guess I will. The world's richest man. Oh, he's number one now. Elon Musk.
Oh, that sucks.
Sorry,
So
Bezos.
pushed him over.
Has scented a new. This is supposed to be a play on cemented. Has scented a new opportunity to capitalize on quirky, cool products. Well, not cool. Launching a perfume called Burnt Hair. He said sold 10,000 bottles to earn $1 million in just a few hours. I feel like emphasis needs to be placed on he said,
Yeah.
because Elon Musk has been known to lie. Musk asked on Twitter, where he is now describes himself as a perfume salesman, quote, with a name like mine, getting into the fragrance business was inevitable. Why did I even fight it for so long?
He fought it.
Elon Musk.
Previous brainwaves have included Tesla's own brand tequila, launched in 2020, and a pair of short shorts to signify Musk's victory over investors who bet against the electrical vehicle maker, now the world's most valuable car firm. Valuable in big quotations. If successful, a deal would put Musk in charge of one of the most influential media platforms and end months of litigation that damaged Twitter's brand and fed his reputation for erratic behavior. The Born Company did not respond with a query on how long it planned to keep the perfume listed. Jeez.
Boring company.
How famous do you have to be to sell
I'm
a
pretty.
perfume called Burnt Hair
I'm
and make $1
sure, like,
million?
people bought it as a joke, and like, because like people.
I think people bought it because there's a weird cult around Elon Musk and
Yeah.
they'll do whatever he asks.
Oh, yeah.
Even
and-
if
And that's a part of it.
And I do want to reiterate, I don't know. It did say he said it sold 1,000 bottles, and this dude is such a lot.
Wait,
I don't know.
that
So I
math does-
really am not just taking that for granted.
Sorry to interrupt, but that math does not
Math.
math is not mathing here. Because each bottle is $100,
Oh my gosh.
and he said he sold 10,000.
yeah, that's $1 million.
Oh, my bad. I haven't taken math yet. Well, why would you spend $100 on something smelling like burnt hair?
This looks like like one of those like fake gifts that like people like make for jokes and stuff. Like
Like a
somebody
gag
like
gift,
actually
yeah.
made this and somebody bought it, and I can't imagine why.
I bet a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a joke. It's funny. That's why I'm going to buy it. But like after
Yeah.
a certain point, how much of a joke is it if
Yo, a
10,000
bottle
people buy
of-
it as a joke?
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's.
It's a cool bottle.
I don't even know what to say except I hate it.
Yeah.
And like, why did it have to be called Burnt Hair? You couldn't call it something cool. You just couldn't.
Oh, wait. So it doesn't actually smell like burnt hair?
I don't know what it smells like. I genuinely do not. Maybe it just smells. It actually does smell like burnt hair. Which, if you've ever smelled it, it's and it's not a
It's super
unpleasant.
disgusting, yeah.
It's not a. Oh, it is an unpleasant smell.
Why would
definitely not
anybody
my
would do
favorite.
that? I don't understand. Like smelling burnt hair.
No.
The way it says shipping, it's the tax domestic shipping included. Ships in Q1 of 2023. What does that mean? That means like sometime in 3 months or something.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh yeah, probably because it was just an idea that they had. And it was just like, we'll throw it out there. Gosh, I wonder if there'll be any issues with that. But it really does remind me of like the Supreme stuff of like people spending like thousands of dollars on like a Supreme brick.
Yeah, the guy who tried to build a house out of Supreme bricks, but he
That's
bought all the
Supreme
supply
brick.
and there was no more like bricks, so he couldn't build his house.
Oh my
Just
god.
slap a Supreme sticker on a brick and there you go.
Yeah. I don't know. I hate everything.
Mhm.
I dislike I dislike the story and I want to move on. Get me out of here.
You know, burnt hair.
Can we go to
smells
Taco Bell?
disgusting, but you know it doesn't smell disgusting?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Sometimes.
I don't know about that.
I've never
Bro.
been to Taco Bell, so I wouldn't know.
I can
But
confirm there is at least a version of Taco Bell that smells good.
Taco Bell is bringing back the Enchirito after a fan vote. The fans have voted and the results are in. Taco Bell is officially bringing back the Enchirito, its trademark smothered burrito item. The fast food chain recently announced a vote-driven contest to decide which discontinued fan item menu should be brought back. On Friday, Taco Bell announced that its rewards members had voted to bring back the Enchirito. In a post from Taco Bell's official Twitter account, the Tex-Mex restaurant said that hashtag Team Enchirito could begin ordering the item, which would be available for a limited time between November 17th and November 30th. The item has roots at Taco Bell dating back to 1970, but was officially removed from the menu in 2013.
Jeez. Wow.
You know what?
I love
Sometimes the internet can be a
democracy.
good place.
I don't know. Sometimes democracy is a bad idea. And like, I don't know. I've never had this Enchirito, but I guess I'm curious. Like, if you had a restaurant and people were demanding you to like bring back this old item, and like, I feel like on one hand, it's like, okay, people want it, but also you probably took it off for a reason,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So like, I don't know.
Well, they might have taken it off for the reason of like it might not have sold as well as they were like it might have declined in sales. They're waiting for it to pop back up, like, or maybe something in popular media kind of caused a resurgence. I know that's what happened with like the Szechuan sauce
Exactly,
and
right.
everything.
Yeah, the Mexican pizza. I remember they took it off for like less than a year. I don't know. And then people were flipping out like, we want our Mexican pizza back. And
But
then
like,
they brought it back.
who remembers this stuff? Like, who like has some like chicken nugget in 1992 of some like thing, and like it's one thing if you are the writer on a TV show and you can make a joke about it and people are like, and it becomes like a meme, and now people want your Szechuan sauce. But like, I feel like with other things, like, do people just remember like, wow, I had like a sandwich back in 1863 and now I really want that sandwich to be available for me again. Like, can't you just cherish the memory? I don't know.
Yeah, don't try and because you also run the risk of ruining your memory if it's not as good as you remember.
Exactly.
And then what are you gonna do?
And then it's going to be available forever, and there will not be
Yeah.
special anymore, and it'll just be this thing that's always available to you, and another little serotonin receptor
Awesome.
thing that you go to. And I don't know.
I think it's all the millennials. Like they're
These
all in their-
millennials.
Yeah, those darn millennials.
I hate them.
But I think it's like they're all in their 30s now at least, and they're well late. I know, early 30s. I mean late 20s, early 30s. So they're all like, oh, remember this from 2013 when I was like graduating high school or something.
Yeah, I
Or
feel like we're getting
college.
started early on the 2000s and nostalgia.
Yeah.
So I think by the time in like 20 years we'll be like, remember, I don't know, the Whopper with something.
Remember the Whopper.
They're not.
Remember when
Well,
Burger King existed?
It's the only thing Burger King got going. Was the Whopper.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
So
Or the chicken fries.
Yeah.
remember
But-
spicy chicken fries?
Are those still a thing?
They like had jalapeno ones, and now
Ooh.
it's just like back to normal chicken fries. I think.
Oh,
I do have to say, I'm glad the people are mobilizing for something. But and I'm also glad that the people are fighting for something, and they're doing some of that in Texas as well, with Texas Pete hot sauce facing a lawsuit because it's made in North Carolina, not Texas.
Ooh.
Gosh, the lies, the hypocrisy,
know.
the cheaters of the world. I just can't take it. A grocery shopper in California has filed a class action lawsuit against the T.W. Garner Food Co., alleging false advertising over their Texas brand Pete of hot sauce. His issue: Texas Pete hot sauce is not made in Texas, but in North Carolina. According to the complaint, Philip White of Los Angeles claims he was under the impression that Texas Pete hot sauce was produced in Texas. He purchased a bottle of the sauce back in September of 2021. The label included the famed white Lone Star from the Texan flag, together with a lasso and cowboy, which are images White assumed to be distinctly Texan. White said he was later surprised to learn that Texas Pete is not a product of Texas, but manufactured in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. a fact that T.W. Garner Food Co. readily admits on its website. In his complaint, White points out the brand's own history as evidence of alleged false advertising.
Here's the thing. Is it actually false advertising if it makes no effect on the product itself?
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
just if it's from Texas or North Carolina, it's not going to change the product, right?
Well, I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's inherently true because I feel like there are a lot of things that are kind of based around like where they were made.
Mhm.
Like I don't know about like I don't want to talk about this too much, but I know that like for certain liquor, like it's like what it's called is based on where it's made.
Oh yeah.
And I wonder if some things apply there. And there's also a kind of material aspect to this too, where like the supplies, if something's made in Texas, you might expect like the supplies that are available in Texas to be put into them.
Mhm.
So like
True.
you're getting like Texas technique and Texas seasoning, if that's a thing.
But also, they never called it a Texas hot sauce. It's the Texas Pete hot sauce.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just
Yeah.
Texas Pete's hot
Pete's
sauce.
from Texas,
Pete
not
from Texas,
hot
not the hot sauce.
Or
We
Texas is
saw
his
the
first
same
name.
body.
guys.
Yeah, right.
Texas, comma Pete.
Texas calling.
Pete Texas is the name. Hot sauce is the game.
How do you like go about like I want to sue this company for false advertising? Who do you go to saying that this was made in North Carolina,
Texas Pete.
not
himself.
Texas?
Yeah, who do you
Oh.
go to complain about that? You're like, excuse me, I'd like to talk to the manager.
You go on like the website and they like you talk to the robot and say like
It's also just kind of wild because like I don't know if you like I don't know if you guys have ever sued anyone. I haven't, not yet.
do you want to?
Yes,
Yeah.
every day.
It comes.
I wish I could. But like it's a lot, I assume. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of work.
Mhm.
And I think it's pretty impressive that he cares so much about authenticity
Yes.
of hot sauce. Oh man. And that actually brings us to the end of today's Morning Buzz. You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I have been your host, Jake Goetz, with Ian Love, co-host, Castiaferro for segment host, and Alex Braun as a sportscaster. Thank you so much for listening. And have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey,
Bye.
you're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.